Cork's Red FM.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I've done a lot of work with Dr. Colin Lane over the last few weeks, and it's responded very well to it. Done a good rehab the last 3 weeks, and I'm hoping to train fully now this weekend with the team.
In terms of the game on Sunday week, Graham, we were speaking to Dan Gordon this week. He was saying that she'll have the upper hand given the experience of last year and 07 as well. They haven't been in a final obviously in 16 years. Is that something you go along with? I mean, do you have an advantage there?
You'll be trying to gain every advantage you can. We've been lucky enough that the majority of the players have been in a couple of finals over the last 3 or 4 years. I think also we've got a little bit of experience from the league final this year, but on the day when the ball is thrown in, that'll count for a bit, but it's not going to count for everything. You still have to go out and you still have to make it happen. Down with their own experience as well. They've Martin Clark there, who came back from being a professional athlete outside in Australia, so I'm sure he'll bring an awful lot to their camp as well.
I assume the experience of preparations for an All-Ireland final, it's more to do with the kind of off-the-field stuff, the build-up, people looking for tickets, the interviews, and the train journey up on the Saturday. It's more to do with that than the game itself. I mean, the game itself is the same effectively as any other 70 minutes.
It is, yeah, and I think as a team and management we try to treat it exactly the same. You don't change or build up a whole lot. You try not to let it distract you. At the end of the day, it is another championship game. It's a winner takes all game. After we lost to Kerry this year, and after a replay in the Munster Championship, we were playing Cavan a couple of weeks later. Since then, since the Cavan game, it's been a winner takes all. You lose, you're knocked out. It's the same. It's the same against Down on Sunday week.
Going on your experience, obviously it's your third All-Ireland final being involved. I suppose it's important to enjoy, as I said, that the build-up and being in the public domain, and people looking for tickets, and the train journey up on the Saturday, people there to see you off at the train station. It's the only game of the year that you're going to get that. It's important to enjoy it.
It is, yeah. You can kind of treat it one or two ways. You can kind of get all caught up in it and all negative about it and try and block it all out, or you can just enjoy it and let it in. And it's the biggest game of the year in relation to Gaelic football. So you can enjoy the build up as well. But it's important not to let that build up get to you. You shouldn't do a whole lot different. Your preparations should stay the same. And I think we've a little bit of experience now in that, all the players and the management, and it hasn't changed up to now and it won't change up to Sunday week.
From a personal point of view, what's your own preparation like, say, when you are up in Dublin early on this Saturday and you're kind of hanging around? What do you do to pass the time?
We usually have a bit of a games room up there anyway, so you'd have something like a bit of table tennis. You've an Xbox up there. You've kind of this kind of silly little golf game. A simulated putter or whatever. So you be kicking around the ball outside in the car park, and you can go for a walk around the place. You're just killing time. You're just doing a bit of stretching, a bit of flexibility, maybe getting a rub out on the muscles. But you're just killing time. Chatting away to the lads. All the work will be done by then. All the preparation will be done. Conor will have a few words to us on Saturday night, and to kind of roll on Sunday then, really.
Would you normally sleep well the night before a big game like this?
Yeah, I sleep way alright. Sometimes your sleep would be a bit broken, but you're not too worried about it. The body's kind of fueled up to then anyway. If you don't sleep well the night before, we're told not to pay a whole lot of heed to it. You have the reserves built up. You'll have slept well all week anyway. You'll sleep well. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. If you don't get great rest on the Saturday night, we're told not to worry about it, because you have the reserves and the adrenaline will get you through any game.
Now, in terms of Down, Graham, they're obviously coming into the All-Ireland final, motoring nicely. I think if you were to pick an All-Star 15 before next week's game, I think you would have a fair few Down guys in there. Yeah,
I agree with you. They played very well, and I suppose any team that gets to an All-Ireland final will be there in merit. You might have the rub of the green along the way, but things usually balance themselves out, and you're there in merit. You'll beat good sides along the way, and Down are no exception. They have some very talented players on their team, and if they hadn't, they wouldn't be in the final.
The motivation, obviously, there's not going to be no lack of motivation going into an All-Ireland final. It's your third final, as I mentioned earlier. Obviously, winning in All-Ireland is motivation in itself, but is there even a greater motivation from the fear of losing, given that you've been in two losing finals already?
I don't think there's any fear, really. You go into an All-Ireland final, you obviously have motivation to win it. This is my third, hopefully, and I've been unlucky enough to lose 2, but you'd be hoping to win the next day, but I'm sure all of Down will be hoping to win as well. Look, but if it works out in the day, hopefully it does. But you just have to go out there, try and make it happen, and make sure you don't leave anything in the dressing room.
And is there anything you learned from your previous 2 finals that you can look back on and say, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have done that, or I shouldn't have done such a thing, that you can take into this and maybe change your preparation perhaps?
Not really, I thought that actually, leading up to this game, and I kind of looked back maybe to last year in 0-7. Preparation hasn't changed a whole lot. Maybe this year we might have maybe a slightly better panel as a whole. So you take great confidence out of that, and if you're ever sitting there wondering how the game is going to go, you kind of just look around, look at all the good players that you have. You have 30 plus players, and that all sits well with you then.
What was it like for you watching the second half of the Dublin game from the sidelines? Obviously you had to come off at half time with the injury. It must have been fairly frustrating, because most of the time it looked like you were on your way out of the championship.
Yeah, it was tough going, but I'm sure it was the same for every Cork supporter. I think anyone that got through that game they'll have no problems with their heart anyway. They don't need to go into any hospital to get it checked out. But, it was tough going. It was heart-stopping stuff, and kind of as a player, I was sitting with the lads in the dugout, and we were all on the edge of our seats, hoping and praying that every shot the lads would have a goal would go over, and luckily enough of them did, and we managed to sneak over the line by a point.
There's been a few questions about the character of this Cork team over the past couple of years, but I think you answered a lot of them in that Dublin game. Yeah,
I think we've shown good enough character all year. We came off the loss of an All-Ireland final last year, regrouped and learned a few lessons from it, and you just put it behind you and you drive on for 2010. 2010 is it's a new year, and it's a new challenge, and we did reasonably well in the league, and the championship so far has gone alright, and you've an All-Ireland final to look forward to now.
Just very finally, Graham, before I let you go, if you do the business on Sunday week, I'm sure there'll be quite a few people in Cork calling in sick to work on Monday and Tuesday with the celebrations and all that. Are you aware of how much this would mean to supporters? I mean, when you look back, I remember speaking to Gerald Sullivan a couple of weeks back. He mentioned how the hurlers were playing in Thurles on the Saturday evening in the Munster final replay, and so many people travelled over to Wexford on the Sunday to watch you. I mean, the supporters have really gotten behind you this year. Yeah,
it means an awful lot. We had an open day there, in which it kind of gives an opportunity for people to come down and watch us training, and an awful lot of kids travel down. I know busloads of teams kind of came from over 60 miles away to watch you train, so you're very humbled by that, and you're very appreciative of that. And it means an awful lot to the players, and it's clear to see that it means an awful lot to the supporters as well. And the support that we've got this year is great. We went up to Wexford. It was lashing rain for the day. We're playing Wexford in a tough game away in championship in Wexford's backyard, and you ran out on the pitch, and you got a great cheer from the Cork support there, and even after the game, it was lashing rain, people still come onto the pitch just to tap you on the back and say well done. It's good to see, and it's players are aware of it, and it means a lot to us.
Red FM. Cork's Red FM.